Suddenly, a monster crawled out of the coffin in the tomb chamber. This creature stood over 8 feet tall, and its mere presence scared the 3 archaeologists stiff. Lucas quickly tried to explain that they weren't there to steal burial goods, but were just conducting archaeological excavation and research, begging it to let them go. However, the monster couldn't understand human language. It only had the instinct to kill any living thing that entered the tomb. With a swift swing of its arm, it knocked Leo flying back. Seeing this, Lucas immediately struck the monster with his shovel, but the monster's defenses were too strong, and the shovel couldn't hurt it. After watching Lucas end up the same way, Leo hurriedly picked up a knife from the ground and slashed at the monster. Yet, ordinary bladed weapons couldn't do any damage, and the monster promptly knocked him back again. Just as the monster was about to continue its assault, Sophia suddenly fired a shot at it. Although the shot didn't kill the monster, it suffered a minor injury. Instantly, the creature changed targets and rushed toward Sophia. Since her gun needed reloading after each shot, she had no time for a second round. However, as she tried to flee, she accidentally tripped over the tomb's floor tiles. Leo saw this and rushed to pull her up. Then he thrust a dagger hard into the monster's vulnerable spot. But the monster seemed to feel no pain and kept chasing them wildly. At that moment, Lucas threw his shovel at the monster's head to distract it. Sure enough, the monster stopped pursuing Leo and Sophia and turned to face Lucas, who had hit it. Now thoroughly enraged, the monster sped up and launched a frenzied attack on Lucas. Faced with such a massive creature, Lucas could only run in circles around the tomb to escape. Then, Leo suddenly remembered the black donkey hoof they had brought. According to folklore, stuffing a black donkey hoof into a monster's mouth could control any monster. Even though they were archaeologists, in that desperate moment, they had to believe in the old tales. With Leo's help, Lucas leaped up and shoved the black donkey hoof into the monster's mouth. Once it was in place, the monster indeed stopped moving and stood still. It has to be said that some folk legends do hold a bit of truth. Then they rushed to open the tomb door to escape, but the heavy coffin lid was blocking it. Even with all 3 of them pushing together, they couldn't budge it an inch. Just then, Sophia noticed the monster raising an arm and pulling the black donkey hoof from its mouth. Then, the creature started moving toward them again. Knowing they couldn't defeat it, they fled deeper into the tomb. In a side chamber, Lucas found a massive spiked club. He and Leo lifted it with all their strength, planning to use it against the monster. When the monster entered the chamber, they charged forward and slammed the club into it, knocking the creature to the ground with tremendous force. However, when they tried to strike again, the ready monster blocked their attack with just one arm. They were no match for its strength, and it easily shoved both them and the club aside. But as the club hit the chamber wall, it smashed through the stone, revealing an opening to another passage. Without hesitation, they scrambled through the hole to escape the monster. Yet, it refused to give up and smashed through the wall after them. Soon, they reached a heavy iron door down the passage. Just as the monster was about to catch them, they slammed the door shut and locked it securely. But outside, the monster was frantically slamming against the iron door, trying to break in and get to them. Lucas urgently told the others to search for an exit, so they could escape before the creature got in. While looking around, they realized this wasn't a tomb, it was an abandoned underground weapons depot from World War II, stocked with many guns and ammunition. However, due to long storage without maintenance, most weapons were unusable. Soon, Lucas spotted a crate of brand new Japanese Type 100 submachine guns. These guns had a key feature: they required no special upkeep and could be used anytime, no matter how long they'd been stored. With these weapons, they felt new confidence about facing the monster. Still, they decided not to confront the monster right away. Instead, they kept searching for another way out. They'd only fight if no exit was found. Soon, Sophia spotted a white light, but when they reached it, they found the exit was high at the top of the cavern. Without any climbing gear, there was no way they could reach it. Just then, Leo caught a pungent smell of animal droppings, though they hadn't seen any animals in the cave. However, when Lucas shined his flashlight upward, he discovered a large colony of vampire bats roosting at the top of the cavern. While these bats don't usually attack humans unprovoked, if they woke with no food around, they would likely go after the nearest living creatures. Lucas warned everyone to stay quiet and slowly back out of the cave. But as Sophia was putting her flashlight into her backpack, it slipped from her hand and clattered loudly on the ground. The noise startled the sleeping bats, and the awakened bats instantly swarmed down to attack them. Luckily, armed with the guns they had found, they could at least fight them off temporarily. Still, the bats were so numerous that even all their ammunition wouldn't be enough to kill every one. So they quickly retreated outside, tossed 2 grenades into the cave, and hurried away from the area. As they searched for an exit elsewhere, Sophia suddenly noticed a small handprint on Lucas's back, as if a child had patted him. Just as she began to wonder if the underground depot was haunted, Leo suggested Lucas had probably brushed against a wall, leaving the pale mark. But right after he said that, they all saw a pale figure dart quickly across the passage ahead. Lucas knew that an unknown entity could be the most dangerous threat of all, so he immediately suggested they turn back and exit through the main door they had entered. However, when they reached the iron door, they found it had been busted open by the monster, but the creature itself was nowhere in sight. Just as they tried to slip out, the monster suddenly pushed aside the other half of the door that was still standing. Lucas and Leo raised their guns and started shooting at the monster. But the monster felt no pain, and the bullets hitting it only slowed it down temporarily. There was no killing it. They immediately turned and ran back inside, but in the panic, they got separated. Soon, the monster had Leo cornered in a narrow passage.